everyone. I'm really, really excited about bringing on my next guest who's been on with me over 4 years. I have with me Howard Farkash. He is a financial services insurance professional, and we today want to talk a little bit about him and what you do, and then we're going to talk about some other kind of things that I've been wanting to ask you for a very long time. So, welcome back.
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, let's talk about you first.
First of all, let me say welcome to our audience. It's nice to be here again. Welcome. Nice seeing you again, obviously.
Thank you so much.
And I've been coming on just about every week for about 3 or 4 years now, so it's getting out there. And the audience is probably getting just a wee bit tired with me. So it's hard to spruce up a program that's all about insurance. So let me tell you a little bit about my agency, basically, and what we're after and what we do, basically. I like to think in a certain sense we're a little bit like the Boy Scouts. We want to be prepared. Our part of our work is preparing you for life's eventualities or for life's sudden surprises. And how do we prepare you for that? We provide money when you need it, basically. That's the essence of what insurance is. Now, I like to think of my company as a benefits company, more so than an insurance company. The insurance company has a darkness over it, basically. Oh, insurance. I can't park my insurance policies in front of my house and have my neighbors come over and admire them like I do a car or something of that nature. So it's all very private, obviously, and has a little bit of a darkness to it. But you should be proud of the insurance policies that you buy, the benefits that you're going to provide for yourself and for your family upon occasion when things don't go right. At least there's money there to help things go better, basically. So that's the essence of our agency. It's be prepared. It's to anticipate, basically. Now what we do is we work in several areas called the life products. And life products include life insurance, health insurance including Medicare, long-term care, and disability, basically. Disability income is what you get when you can't go to work because of one of life's unfortunate events affecting your health, basically. So you become disabled. And there has to be income for that. As a matter of fact, there are some people who are out there who will say being disabled is almost worse than dying from a financial perspective, because you get to stay around and see the mess you've created if you haven't anticipated and if you're not prepared for that eventuality. Now, a lot of people get disability income through their employer, but take a close look at that policy because it only goes so far. Individual disability income will carry you further down the road financially than perhaps a policy that comes through your employer. So what our agency does is kind of augment or work around what employers give you for the benefits. If your employer gives you $100,000 worth of life insurance, gee, that's great, don't pass up on that, but is that really going to meet your family's needs should you have an unfortunate, untimely death, basically? Or do you want to augment that, basically? Now, the life insurance market, it's big. Let's face it, the life insurance companies live in those big, tall skyscraper buildings downtown. We live in nice little houses. They got the money, they get the money from our premiums, and then, of course, they pay claims against those premiums, but they're to the positive. They make more money, and therefore they're big and they're huge, etc. But let's face it, they had to have grown with the economy. Today, life insurance companies offer more than just straight life insurance. They offer you the opportunity to supplement your retirement with tax-free income through return of the premiums that you have paid. So you can look at that aspect of it. They also offer you some long-term care coverage should you need it. That's usually when you're older, or if you're younger and have had a serious accident and you're going to be disabled for a certain amount of time, at least 90 days, then maybe you should trigger that long-term care provision of a life policy. So the companies are taking a very serious look at meeting the needs of the public. If they didn't meet those needs, they go out of business, basically. So they have changed over the years. I've been involved in the insurance business since about the mid-1990s.
1997, I wrote that down
Well,
today.
that's here in Arizona. I was also involved before I came to this state.
Oh.
So I was involved earlier as far as that's concerned. But the point is, I've seen huge advances in what they offer to people, basically. Now, let me tell you one thing, a GoFundMe page is not an insurance policy, okay? I mean, it's nice that people do pull their resources together and try to help people out when something happens. That's all well and good, but it won't last as long as it needs to, and it's just not an insurance policy. So that's on the life insurance side of things. Now, our agency actually started out with health insurance, and I worked the underage 65 health insurance market for a good number of years. And that all changed with the Obama presidency. We now have the Affordable Care Act, and quite candidly, it's not the same place to work as it once was. There's a lot of restrictions that I face basically as a seller. I can't really bring people a lot of happiness through the ACA plan offerings, either on a pricing basis or a coverage basis. So because of that, I moved into Medicare, and Medicare offers some very fine products just as well. Two basic decisions to make on the Medicare. Do you want to be Medicare with a supplement, or do you want to be Medicare Advantage? On paper, they're both wonderful plans. The breakdown comes in the field itself and how the plans are administered and operated basically. But overall, you've got to make your choice between one or the other. Some people have told me this is a choice between a devil and a deep blue sea. They like certain things. They like certain things about Medicare supplements, and they don't like other things about those Medicare supplements. Right. And conversely, they like things about the Medicare Advantage plans, and there's other things they don't like about Medicare Advantage. Now, we could spend a whole hour discussing that, but I'd rather address anybody's individual needs as they present them to me, basically. Because my business is not a business of mass production. It's taking care of individual customers and identifying their needs and finding out exactly what it is that they need and matching them to a product and a carrier that best meets those objectives.
I'm gonna talk about you for a second.
Oh, talk about me,
Yeah.
Okay.
And first of all, we're very lucky to have you, because let me just say this. One thing about you, as meticulous of a person that I've ever met, and caring of a person that you are about each and every one of your clients, and you help them understand. This is what I love about you. I had a question about something, and you sent me an email, and it was beautifully executed that I could understand the entire process of what I was looking at, right? And it was awesome, and I thanked you so much. There was somebody that was looking for the information, but if I could understand it, and that's hard for me sometimes, right? I was so impressed with what you did, and I appreciate you, and this is what you get with Howard, is somebody who really wants you to understand, not just educate you, but understanding what it is that you're learning.
Well, several things you said are important there. Not that they pump me up or anything of that nature. Little Saturday Night Live, pump you up. But anyway, long story short, is some of the things that you said were important, because this is a complex field. The insurance field is not to be taken lightly. There's a lot of education that's going into this field. Starting way back in my college years, I learned about insurance basically, and I was fascinated by how insurance works. But it's something that realistically, maybe you shouldn't do yourself. And I tell you a little side story. I have a friend who's a plumber basically, and my friend tells me that he makes more money from people who have tried to fix it themselves than calling him initially, basically.
Absolutely.
And I've walked into many situations whereby I have had to quote-unquote fix financial plans or fix coverage, basically, because people did it themselves. Our retirement rescue program looks at those kind of ideas and tries to be sure that retirements do get straightened away.
And done correctly. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. I want you to put his phone number in your phone. That phone number is 602-909-8433. This is a free service to you. Just call Howard at 602-909-8433. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute.
Thank you for thinking of just call Howard.
No problem.
Thank you. That was really well done.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so,
This is flowing very nicely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I don't know if you want to say why you're different, if you've already sort of said that already, I'm not sure.
And bring that back, yeah.
Bring that back?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha,
Again, thanks for the reminder.
No problem.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
That's
and
why.
I got so involved in the new thread, and I
That's
forgot some
okay.
of that stuff, yeah.
That's okay,
No,
that's
I
okay.
like it, it's going well,
Good, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do, we'll come right back into it from here, okay? And then don't forget that you wanna talk about my most important question, the frequently asked question that you get.
You throw that out there any way you can, exactly.
Okay.
Right. Right now we are wide open, I mean, we're shooting at a moving target, we're blindfolded, but you're gonna hit the target every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to come on my radio show and talk about what you do? I'm Carol Blonder, the host of Networking Arizona. I created a show where you can get yourself heard by thousands of listeners. You'll also get a podcast of the show so you can put it on your website. Call me and book your spot at 602-228-4629. Get the word out about what you do. Visit my website, networkingarizona.net.
Nice ad, nice ad. That was your ad.
Yes, it was mine, yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Is there someone in your life whose aging journey is causing you or someone you know concern or distress? Since
This
2000,
guy that we're looking at is getting married, I think, this week. He needs an insurance policy.
Yeah.
This one right there, this young kid,
Yeah,
yeah, because he's getting married.
okay.
Those are good people to talk to.
That's when you tell them that.
Mhm.
2 decades with more than 4,500 successful outcomes. Don't wait for the crisis. Call options for
He seems pretty young though, doesn't he? He seems like a young lad.
Oh, yeah.
But they're all looking younger these days.
Spanish but don't have time for a traditional class. Now you can learn online anytime, anywhere with Spanish Express Plus. We offer personalized tutoring for kids and adults right from the comfort of your own home. Whether it's for travel.
Can I see the commercial lineup that I sent you guys for today? Well, not now, after the show.
Visit SpanishExpressPlus.com to start your journey today. Oh, they teach English too.
Do you enjoy helping others achieve their goals? Are you a proven successful salesperson? You should seriously consider a lifetime career as a professional business broker. It's time for you to enjoy challenges and earn fantastic rewards. Join the original WCI Business Sales at the Biltmore Center. Call 602
Kevin, we gotta franchise your business.
or visit
What's that?
We gotta franchise your business.
Me? Yeah, I know, would be cool.
We gotta go Chicago, LA.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Chicago, LA.
I would love that. So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Howard Farkash, and Howard has been a a financial service insurance professional since here in Arizona. He's done it before that as well, since 1997. And at the break, we were sort of talking, and I want you to tell everybody really. Well, I'm going to go with the first one that I want to ask. But I've been wanting to ask you for like the longest time, and today I get to finally ask it. What's the most frequent question that you get asked?
Well, I suppose the most frequent question that I get is concerns quotes. Give me a quotation on. Give me a quotation on life insurance. Give me a quotation on disability insurance, on Medicare insurance. Give me some quotes. Okay, Mr. Sharpshooter or Miss Sharpshooter, you're gonna sharpshoot me on pricing, basically. Well, I don't believe that that's the best way you should buy the kind of products that we offer, basically. We're talking about products that have a lot of complexity to them, and it's easy to give a lowball quote. In fact, because of this request for pricing, I've had to change my quotation format. Usually I try to give a quotation that I think is what's referred to as the quote at the pricing you're likely to get from the insurance company after you've gone through underwriting. But that's not what people want to hear. They want to hear the best price, the lowest price.
Bottom
The
line.
bottom line. And then they're going to be disappointed when we come back and say, well, the insurance company is really happy to insure you. They're looking forward to forming a relationship with you,
Right.
but they need $50 a month more, okay?
Mhm.
What I like to do is give the very best pricing, define what's required, give the very best pricing, That's in case you're in this shape that you run a marathon every week and you're as thin as a number 2 pencil basically, then maybe you're gonna get that best rate. But I've got to be a field underwriter, and I've got to learn more about you, what your needs are. Are you also gonna look for other features in that policy that will make it convertible after it's run its full term? Things of that nature. So I try to make sure that it's just not a pricing issue. If you make it a pricing issue, you make it a lowball issue, you're gonna get a lowball product, you're not gonna be happy with it, and when I come back to see you later on with another offering, you're not gonna necessarily like me. And I need people to like me in order to go forward.
Well, you're gonna like him because he's just a likable guy, and that's number one.
You can't disappoint people in order and expect to sell them something else.
Right, but I think people also need to remember too, that as much of a pencil that you might be, look like, or anyway, say it that way, or if you're running, I know people who were extremely healthy people who passed away or got sick, very sick. And that's what we don't know. That's why we don't know what we don't know.
Oh, that's absolutely sure. So we talk about, we don't know what we're talking about when it comes to insurance. We don't know what's going to happen to us in the future. If we knew when we were going to die, we'd be able to run out the day before and buy all the insurance we needed.
Mhm.
Well, it's not really the fact that you don't believe in life insurance. By the way, there's a lot of people who tell me they don't want to buy life insurance because they don't want to leave a rich widow. Well, let me tell you, $100,000 policy is not gonna create a rich widow. Let's get that out of the way quickly, okay?
I'm sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
but it does happen. These are the kind of objections that I get when I talk to people about life insurance. So life insurance is one thing, but we also work in other areas, as I mentioned, disability income, long-term care. We have a program in my agency called Care Beyond Medicare, because Medicare doesn't cover everything, and you need to have a provision for long-term care. You need to make sure that if you're younger and listening to this, you need to be concerned about your parents, and do they need long-term care coverage, okay? What's the most effective way of forming that coverage? First of all, you have to have a plan. You just don't look at the money and say, gee, we're gonna need $500,000 for mom's old age. No, you don't say that. What you say is, who's gonna take care of mom when she gets old and she's had a stroke and she can't fend for herself? Where will she live? How much will it cost her to live there? Who's gonna take care of her? What services is she gonna need? What's the cost on that gonna be? How much is that gonna come out to be? How do we provide for that? What's the best way? Those are the kinds of questions. So first have a plan, and then figure out how you're gonna fund that plan. Another thing the insurance industry has done, as I said earlier, is become much more efficient in the use of your money. So now your premiums may pay for a life insurance benefit or a long-term care benefit. Something like that's very, very important. You've got money set aside now for your own long-term care, that's great. But what's it doing sitting in your right pocket? Is it earning interest? Can it be leveraged? If you have $100,000, $200,000 set aside for your long-term care, how do you turn that into $300,000 or $400,000 of long-term care benefit? Like I say, I don't like to call my company insurance company. I like to think of it as a benefits company. Okay, so we're talking about what benefit. How do we take your money from being lazy money and turning it into money that's going to benefit you? That's the strength of my company, basically.
And I think, what would you say that makes you different than other people that do what you do?
Well, I think basically there's very few people who get involved in the complete life product arrangement of products. Now, a lot of us, a good number of us do get involved in all aspects. Life insurance, health insurance, disability income, long-term care. Those are life products, but most people only specialize in one of those areas, okay? And I believe a lot of those people are what I call transactional salespeople. They're out to sell, they're out to sell, out to sell, out to sell. Okay, well, it's important I make my living selling, no doubt about it. But on the other hand, I like to build relationships with people so that we take good care of them and their money is working for them as best it possibly can. And that's the thing we get into. That's why we spend a lot of time with our clients. That's why we ask them lots of questions. Sometimes people think we're nosing into their private affairs. If I'm gonna counsel you on your finances, I've got to counsel you on knowing more about you. Remember the YMCA, Young Men's Christian Association? They stress body, mind, and spirit. I think they're missing out on one more important aspect of life, and that's they've got to really look at finances, okay? Because it's finances that drive your body, mind, and spirit, basically.
And you know, unfortunately, it does. It's the way the world is today. It's always been like that. It's a money driven world.
Right.
And our health and what we need, and to think about ourselves and our needs. I know it sounds terrible, but you know what? That's what you should do first, because really what you're doing is you're really doing it for others when you're doing it for you. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Well, that all makes sense, and that's why we also have a function within our company, basically, that's referred to as WealthWise, basically. And WealthWise helps us teach people about finance. You know, there's an idea in this society we don't have enough financial literacy, and nobody wants to go through, none of the people in the audience want to go through life saying, we don't know anything about finance, okay? They don't want to be called financial illiterates. So I talk about a financial knowledge program. We teach the basics of money and how money works, basically, so that people don't make mistakes with their money. And some of these mistakes can be, they go on for life, basically. But remember one thing, there's two types of people in this world, those who pay interest and those who earn interest. And the difference is that the people who understand money know interest and don't pay very much interest.
You're gonna wanna call Howard.
Right, so there's a lot of rules of personal finance that we do get involved with in chatting with people and talking to people about. Because while the market's hot, maybe not right now because of current tariff legislation, et cetera, but while the market's hot and the market does go up over a long period of time, God forbid the market goes down when it's your time to retire.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to know how to move your money around so that you have both growth and safety. That's very, very important, and we teach people how to do that.
Can you do that now while this is happening in our world today?
Oh, absolutely. There's no problem with coming into our world, which is what I call growth and security, basically. It's the world of life insurance, the world of annuities, which are only issued by life insurance companies. Yes, you can buy an annuity down at your bank, but it's issued by a life insurance company, okay? They're the only people who can issue annuities, which are specialized savings accounts, basically.
I think what people also need to try and remember that these policies are all, they're tools now. It's a tool to help you retire with more peace of mind.
Or retire or having money when you need it, basically. It can also be a tool for sending a kid to college, okay?
Mhm.
It's an accumulation tool, basically. Nice thing about most annuities out there today is you cannot lose your principal or the interest that you've accumulated. It only goes up with the market. It doesn't go down when the market goes down. Yes, there could conceivably be years where you don't earn any money on your savings, and that's not necessarily a good thing, but that's better than losing money on your savings and accumulation. A good number of years ago, Time magazine, I believe it was, ran a cover story, and it said, "Hey dude, where's my college money?" Okay, it was a picture of a kid ready to go to college. His money had been invested in 529 plans, okay? The market went down, his college money went down, basically. So, I mean, we have to realize that we have to take a look, especially at these perilous times, at having money in safe places just as well as having them in the market.
And having the money when you need the money.
That's right, and being prepared, that's what it's really all about, being prepared. You're not very well prepared. You save a lot of money for your child to go to college, and then the market shifts downwards, basically. You tell your kid to get a part-time job at college, he's gonna be working in a courtroom in order to pay for his college education,
Mhm.
okay?
Well, you know, and some people will say, what's wrong with that? But you know, it's something that you had dreamed of to do, and you can't forecast when these things are gonna happen, especially life in general.
Well, that's absolutely true. So that's where you go back to that, be prepared, anticipation. These are the important things in life. This is the work that we do, is make sure that we bring people money when they need it.
Just call Howard. His phone number direct at 602-909-8433. First of all, this is a free service to you. It makes sense to give him a call and have him educate you. And when he does, let me tell you something, you're gonna really, truly understand everything before he lets you go, because that's the way he is.
Thanks, Carol. You take good care of yourself now.
Thank you, and thank you for being on again, and we appreciate you, Howard. We had to, so we can really learn what to do to be prepared, and that's what it's all about. Again, his phone number is 602-909-8433.